What's up guys, Daniel here. I wanted to be the first one to do a tutorial for this song, but someone beat me to it. I hope you enjoy my tutorial anyway. This is Gossett's Bitter Winds. It's in standard tuning with a capo on the 5th fret. In this lesson you're going to learn a picked version and a strummed version of each of these chords because that's how he plays it in the song. So if the picking version is too hard, just learn the strummed version. It's still going to sound good. Alright, so let's get started. First part I'm going to show you is the intro, and it's played almost the same way as the verse. So once you get this down, you should be able to play a majority of the song. Sounds like this. So the chords we're going to use are going to be E minor, G, C major 7, and that's just a C chord without the first fret of the B string, and then going to end on a G. Alright, starting with that E minor, you're going to pluck E, D, G, D, E, D. Then you're going to do E, D, G again, and then open E, hammer onto the 2nd fret. Then D, G. From here, you're going to hammer on from the 2nd fret of the E string to the 3rd fret, and that's going to start our G chord. Then D, G, D, E, D. So from the beginning. After that, you're going to pluck an open A and hammer onto the 2nd fret, then D, B, G, D, G. So the G chord all together. And now all together E minor to G. Regular speed. Alright, next two chords are going to be that C major 7. Again, that's just a C chord without the first fret of the B. You're going to pluck 3rd fret A, then go D, B, G, D, G. Then you're going to do an open D string and hammer onto the 2nd fret with your middle finger. Then G, back to the 2nd fret of the D, and pull off to an open D. So to go. Then you're going to go 3rd fret A again, and then back to an open D. So starting from the beginning there. After that, we're going to go back to the G chord. So start on the 3rd fret of the low E, then D, G, D, A, D. And then you're just going to go down to the 2nd fret of the low E, pluck that note, and let it ring out. When we get to the verses, you're going to play that chord all the way through. So from C major 7 to G. And now all together. Regular speed. And that's how you play the intro. Next part up is the verse, and again, it's almost played exactly like the intro with a few minor changes. I'm going to play it all the way through real quick so you know what I'm talking about. Leaves turning brown, it's down to 54. Cold is moving into Texas, and it's moving out the warm, these bitter winds. And then you just repeat that. So the E minor and the G are played exactly the same way. C major 7. So before we were doing this, there was a hammer-on that G chord and then a pull-off. We're not doing that this time. Now we're going to do 3rd fret A as our starting note, D, B, G, D, G. We're going to do the first hammer-on the D string, open D to 2nd fret, and then you're going to go G, B. Before we did the pull off on the 2nd fret of the D string, we're not doing that. So hammer on, and then you're going to go G, D, G. So C major 7. And then you're going to go back to the G and play that just like we did before. Now at the end of the intro, we just went down to the 2nd fret of the low E string. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to play a D over F sharp chord. And that's going to be the 2nd fret A, 2nd fret G, 3rd fret B, and 2nd fret high E. Now if you can, you'll want to play this with your thumb wrapping around the neck to fret that 2nd fret of the low E. If you can't do that or aren't comfortable doing that, just play the D string twice from here. So from that G, starting on that 2nd fret of the low E string, you're going to do D, E, B, G, B. So from G to D over F sharp. And then now C major 7 to G. And you're going to repeat that again for the next part of the verse. Alright, next part up is the chorus, and the chords we're going to use are going to be C add 9, E minor 7, G, and then we're going to use D. And the picking pattern is similar, but a little bit easier than the intro and the verse were. Sounds like this. So for the first 3 chords, the picking pattern you want to do is going to be the root note of the chord for the C add 9, that's the 3rd fret of the A string, then D, B, G, D, G. Next you're going to switch to the E minor 7th, so the root note becomes the open E string, and again, root note, D, B, G, D, G. Next chord up is going to be the G chord. Our root note now becomes the 3rd fret of the low E. And then here's where it changes. When we get to that D chord, you're going to do a couple hammer-ons and pull-offs. It sounds like this. So what you're doing here is you're starting on that D string and then going G, high E, B, G, B. So it's a similar pattern, just on different strings. From here, you're going to pluck the 2nd fret of the high E string and hammer on to the 3rd fret. Then you go back to B, back to high E, but you're going to go 3rd fret pull off to the 2nd fret. Then you go back to G and then B. So all together. And you're going to play that chord progression throughout the chorus. So I'll play it all together a little bit slower. Then regular speed. And that's how you play the chorus. Now after the first chorus, you start strumming these same chords that you did for the intro and the verse, just the church chord versions of them. So you can basically keep the 3rd fret of the B and high E string fretted the entire time while you're switching between these chords. And it sounds like this. So again, we're using the same chords that we did in the intro and the verse. So we're going to start with an E minor 7, walk up to a G, then go to C add 9, and then we're going to go G, D. And the strumming pattern you want to keep in mind for these chords is going to be down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. And I'll show you where we do the chord changes. So starting with that E minor 7, we got down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now when you get to the down, down, up, to switch to the next chord, that's when we're going to do our walk up. To do that, you're going to strum down with an open E string and hammer on to the 2nd fret. So down, down, up. And then we're going to move on one more time with a hammer on to the G chord by hammering on from the 2nd fret of the E to the 3rd fret. And that's going to start our G chord. So that's our first part of the G chord, where we have our down strum, and then up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. So from E minor 7 to G. Then we move to the C add 9. When you do the first down strum, leave the D string open so you can hammer onto the 2nd fret. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. And here's where we're going to switch from G to D in the middle of that progression. It's going to go G, down, up, and then switch to D, and just do one down strum. Let it ring out. And now that whole progression all together. Now you're going to play that same strumming pattern and those same chords throughout the next verse, but when you get to that D string, you're going to finish off the strumming pattern. I see your breath while I'm holding mine. Your face lit up by the moon, my face lit up by your eyes, I'm singing. So instead of just letting the D chord ring out, you're going to strum all the way through. So you start on that G, and you're going to go down, up, switch to D, down, up, down, up, down. So it's that same strumming pattern, just with the chord switch between. And then you repeat it again. Now the second chorus is going to get a similar treatment. You still have that same strumming pattern, but you're going to do the chorus chords. It's going to sound like this. So C add 9 gets the hammer on the 2nd fret of the D string on the first down strum. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Switch to E minor 7. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. G also gets the hammer on to the 2nd fret of the A string on the first down strum. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. And then D gets a few extra hammer-ons and pull-offs. So you're going to switch to D and go down, up, down, up, down. When you get to that next down strum there, you're going to hammer on to the 3rd fret of the E string. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And then pull off the 3rd fret of the B string back to the 2nd. Finish with down, down, up. And that's how you strum the chorus. Now during the last verse, he goes back to the picking pattern that you learned at the beginning. It won't be long. Tomorrow is the past, and the future is long gone. He changes it up when he gets, or right before he gets into the last chorus. So you're still going to strum all the way until you get to that C major 7, and when you get there, you're going to do A, D, B, G, D, G, and then do the open D, hammer onto the 2nd fret, and let that ring out. Till tomorrow is the past. And then when he says, and the future, you're going to switch to a G chord and you're going to pluck the E, G, and B strings at the same time and let those ring out. till the future is long, then switch to D, gone, and you're going to pluck the D, B, and E strings at the same time. And the future is long gone. And you're going to continue that little plucked version of each of these chords for the final chorus. So for that final chorus, you're going to pluck the root note of the first three chords plus the G and the B strings. So for C add 9, E minor 7, G. When you get to D, it switches because you're going to pluck the B and high E string along with the root note, which in this case is the open D. But you're going to add a little hammer-on and pull off here. So after you pluck the notes of the chord, you're going to pluck the B and the high E string again and hammer onto the 3rd fret, and then remove the 3rd fret and pluck just the B and the E string. So. And the next part, he's not going to do the hammer-ons, he's just going to go same way he did the first three chords. And he'll alternate between those two versions throughout the last chorus. Last part is the outro. It's played the same way as the intro, you just end on a strummed D chord. So. And that ends the song. That does it for this lesson, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, the tabs are going to be on my website. I'll have a link in the description. If you have any questions, need any more help, or have any requests that you'd like me to teach, go ahead and leave those in the comment box down below. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I've been picking up a little more steam now that I'm posting some shorts, so I hope you guys are enjoying those. Anyways, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one.